Jason is our Senior Vice President of Digital and Integrated Marketing. Jason has a long history in the industry, even though he is very young looking. He's been with Caring.com in Brookdale. Sage Age is thrilled to have him on our team, and I think you're going to enjoy the presentation.
There we go. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I tend to talk loud and fast, so I'll do my best job, but we definitely will make up for time. So I know that we're running a little behind schedule, but thank you, Faith. Really appreciate it. Wow, what an amazing turnout. So we're really excited to have you all here to talk about how integrated marketing solutions can boost your occupancy rate, right? Your bottom line. So we know occupancy, that's the game changer in the business, right? So we're all focused on occupancy. How do we drive occupancy? And so for us at Sage Age, and specifically me on the digital team, I look at how can we drive occupancy from a lead generation, from a digital marketing standpoint. So again, really excited to talk to you about this, but we're also really excited to unveil today to you 2 new marketing solutions that we have that, again, we do believe are going to boost your bottom line. So we're really excited about that. And we definitely will get to that GoPro as well, too. So I know a lot of folks here for that. So not just here to see me, I'm okay with that. All right, first slide. So integrated marketing, right? So just really quickly, we're not going to get in the weeds. I know we got other things. We got the keynote coming up, and we're just starting the week. So I'm going to be pretty light on you, but just kind of give an overview, right? So integrated marketing, we could talk about it in a sense of a strategy and then also from a technology standpoint, right? So I'm going to talk about both today a little bit. So integrated marketing ideally is where you would have all your marketing campaigns working in concert, right? So your online campaigns, your offline campaigns, right? That you would have them all integrated at one time with one voice, one message, right? You can track all that data real time, and you can optimize those campaigns real time. You can see, okay, where am I generating engagement? Where am I generating leads? Where am I spending my money? You know, what's paying off? What has the best ROI? And quickly make changes, right, based on engagement and ROI. And obviously, to be able to, what, increase closing rates. Now, realistically, it looks a little probably more like this for y'all. And I've been there. So I've worked for several providers, as Faith has mentioned, and I've been there. So, you know, I've struggled with working with the full marketing team. Who's doing online campaigns? Who's doing offline campaigns, right? You know, are we trying to work together? Is it the same incentive, right? Is the look and feel the same? Is the messaging the same? Do we have the same goal? Are we driving people to maybe a specific landing page, right? With, you know, specific, you know, call to action, right? Is it working together? Is there synergy there, right? But often there's not, right? It's very disjointed, right? We're working in silos, right? And it's tough. If you don't have the technology in place, then it's really easy to get like this, where you're working in silos, right? Disconnected brand messaging, right? And then overall, you have an inefficient lead funnel, right? So you're not being very efficient with the opportunity you have. The biggest thing I see, and I've seen at the provider level, is there's so much more opportunity there than a lot of people see every day, right? There's so many phone calls coming in, but how are you processing those phone calls, right? There's so many leads coming in, but how quickly are you following up? Are you really taking, you know, full opportunity of what's coming in? So let's talk a little bit about integration stats. Like, what are marketers saying about integration, right? 51% of marketers today say they have yet to integrate marketing technologies beyond the most basic level. And that's back to what I'm pointing to, is where, you know, disconnected, right? You might be, you know, integrating your web forms from your website into your CRM. If you're doing that already, that's great. But that's a great first step, right? That's a pretty basic level, right? You know, we want to get beyond that. How do we get beyond that? We're integrating our email marketing campaigns, our marketing automation campaigns, right, all into one unified platform. Next stat, 77% of marketing professionals agree with this statement. We will drive more sales and profit by evolving into an effective multi-channel marketing company. That's from Forrester. But how can you really do that? How can you be a multi-channel, very good at multi-channel marketing if you don't have an integrated strategy, not just the strategy piece, but also the technology component, right, that meets that strategy and does allow you to execute on that strategy? The last stat, 9 out of 10 marketers believe that connecting their company's marketing technology stack would improve their ability to innovate, personalize consumer interactions, send timely messages, and increase return on investments, right? And it's been proven, right? That's why we have technology. It makes things efficient, right? It doesn't always replace things, right? So I'm not going to talk about replacing sales folks today. I'm not going to be talking about, you know, trying to necessarily, you know, add more to their plate. If anything, add less to their plate, right? Help give them some tools where, as they're out there and they're trying to do outreach and they're outside the building, building relationships, they're inside trying to deal phone calls, lead follow-ups, what's behind the scenes that they have that's making things efficient for them to know where the opportunity is. So what are some sources, right? From a technology standpoint, right? Again, I think, everybody here has probably seen, this before. This is like the wish list, right? So if we can integrate all of our lead forms, right, whether that's from SEM, PPC, your website, affiliate referrals, like Caring.com, A Place for Mom, right? Senior Housing Net, and more. I mean, I can go on forever with that list. Phone calls. Are you tracking phone calls? But then are you also able to pull in those phone calls real time, looking at your campaign, say, is this campaign driving phone calls? Also, direct marketing, email campaigns, print, TV, radio, social media, on and on and on, right? So we have all these campaigns, but are we able to actually be able to bring them together in one integrated platform? Benefits of integration, I mentioned a few of these points already, but obviously productivity, right? Work smarter, not harder. Again, not trying to replace any functionality of the sales staff, but really trying to help, provide tools and efficiencies to the sales staff. Workflow automation, speed to lead tactics. So last year, I'm not sure if anybody joined my session last year, but I talked about speed to lead, right? This is sort of the hottest thing. You're going to hear a lot about it at Smash this week, along with marketing automation and integration and all the things we're talking about here. But these things are real, and they really, really do lift your bottom line. Tracking and analyzing lead data, and obviously the goal is maximizing opportunity and ROI. So how can we really maximize opportunity and ROI? Outside of just connecting a few web forms to our CRM and our leads are coming in and we can track them a little bit better, right? But what else is working behind the scenes? Again, what's giving your sales folks those additional tools to where they're trying to balance all those spinning plates at one time and trying to keep connected with their leads, their prospects, and adult influencers, right, throughout the sales funnel? Well, marketing automation. So I'm sure you all know what marketing automation is. I've heard about that. You're going to hear a lot about it this week, right? But we're going to talk a little bit about it today and the solution that we have. So ideally, what is marketing automation, though? So nurturing leads from all your media sources, right, with highly personalized and triggered messaging. That's the key. So how personalized is that message that I'm receiving, and what's that message being triggered from? What action have I taken through the sales funnel, right, or yet to take in the sales funnel? Let's say I've reached out to you, maybe I've had a conversation with your sales folks. Yeah, I'd like a brochure, I'm not ready to take a tour yet. What kind of information that you can send me real time, ongoing, electronically, that would help maybe urge me to take a tour at your community, without necessarily your sales folks having to call me every day, reminding, hey, come in for a tour, right? Turning leads into customers, customers into brand loyalists. So that's just a broken down, really simplistic funnel. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And obviously, at the end of the day, increasing closing rates. I keep mentioning that, right? If you have these things working in concert, right, and you're optimizing these things and they're very efficient, then you will increase your bottom line. Now again, realistically, right, and again, I've been there, right? Some of us still think, well, marketing automation, that's great. I've heard about it. It's just the latest trend. I don't know much about it. I'll wait to see what everybody else does. We'll kind of see how that pans out. Then there's others that are thinking, well, it's kind of lazy or robotic or even spammy. Like, I just don't want to spam my prospects. I mean, they've called. They've said they, only want to be contact via voice, via phone, or, I don't want to bother them, or, I don't want to come off as too pushy with them. But if you do it and you do it well, it will actually work really well. I mean, the stats and data has shown that it works very, very well and it's very effective, even in the senior living industry. And in terms of spam, right, we think about all the emails we currently send. So even if it's just once a month and you're sending your community e-newsletter, it might be great. It might be a wonderful piece of content that I love to receive every month. But at the same time, is it very personalized to me? Is it really speaking to me? Is it really helping me with my loved one through the journey of bringing my loved one into your community? Probably not. I mean, it's giving me some information about your community. It's help lifting your brand. It's showing me some of your programs, your events. And that's nice. It's warm and fuzzy, but is it really speaking to me? Right? So I would argue that typically the mass e-blast marketing that we do today is far more spammy than marketing automation. Okay. A few more stats. So what are marketers saying about marketing automation? The most valuable features of marketing automations to users today are lead nurturing, 57%, analytics and reporting, 52%, and list segmentation. And that's by Marketo, and I'm sure you've heard of them, right? They're one of the largest in the space in terms of marketing automation and other marketing programs. But it's pretty fascinating that, yeah, obviously lead nurturing, right? That's number one. But I really like that stat about analytics and reporting, because that's the power behind it, right? So not only are you having these very personalized messaging to really try to help them through the funnel, but also real time, you're getting that data, right? You're able to track that. Where are you spending your money? What's engaging? What content is engaging your users? So you can get better and better at your content. Get better and better at how you target your prospects and influencers. Next stat, 79% of top performing companies have been using marketing automation for 2 or more years, from Peridot, another big marketing automation firm. And so this is, in general, so other industries, not senior living industries. So can I see a raise of hands of who's been maybe practicing marketing automation for 6 months, a year, 2 years? See a few? Awesome. Cool, I see a few, that's good. Well, maybe this next stat will have you thinking a little bit. So companies using marketing automation generate 2 times as many leads as those that just send email via just, MailChimp, eBlast, right? Autopilot, they're another leading firm in marketing automation. Again, that's general stats, right? It's not necessarily indicative of senior living, but we've already seen that proven out in senior living as well. So it's real, it works, it's very cost efficient, it really gives your sales folks a really, really good, strong tool in their tool bucket to really help drive the leads you already have, to really drive them through the funnel. Again, it's optimizing what you currently have. And again, being on the provider side, I saw that so much to where, my sales folks and regionals are saying, we just need more leads. I'm like, well, I give you more leads, and you're saying they're just not good quality. So I'm driving a lot of these leads through pay-per-click and all these other means, which can be very effective. But the answer's not just more leads all the time. It's what are you doing with those leads? Are you really converting those well? Are you utilizing technology to the best that you can to really take as much opportunity out of the leads that you are driving? That's from phone calls to, the email blast you're sending out, to the leads you're receiving through pay-per-click or SEM, or even your offline campaigns, your direct mail, print, so on and so forth. So what's the big picture? What does it look like? So here's a basic sales funnel, and this might be not exactly how you see it at your company, but let's just break it down into 4 components, right? Attract, convert, close, and delight. Right, so this really just shows, okay, so let's just say this is an example of a sales funnel, and how are we going to work through that funnel, right? So obviously you're trying to attract, for lack of better term, strangers, right? Through your blog, your content, whether that's social media, right? Through keyword ads, pay-per-click, SEM, trying to drive them to your website, right? Trying to attract visitors, and then you're trying to convert them. Hopefully you have a great lead gen site with strong call to actions, right? Wanting them, they want pictures and price, right? We all know that's what they want. Are you providing that to them, but also leaving enough on the table to where they want to reach out to you and have that conversation? How are you effectively turning a stranger into a visitor and then into a lead? But the next box, close, right? So that's highlighted there, and it's highlighted for a reason. That's where marketing automation does its work, in the close box. So by this point, your sales folks have probably already reached out to, let's just say, our prospect here, Alice. Had multiple conversations maybe with Alice, trying to close Alice, bring her in, maybe she's already in for a tour. This is where marketing automation helps Alice close the deal, right? There's nothing that can replace your sales folks. There's nothing that will replace that one-on-one conversation, that face-to-face tour. Nothing will replace that. But what will help is having this very personalized content messaging that you're sending Alice, right, that really means something to her because you know that her mother's looking for assisted living, having trouble moving her because she doesn't want to leave her home, right? It's all the general content we talk about all day, but it's using it in a meaningful way, right? Real time when it matters that you're sending Alice information about how they had the conversation with their mother. And it could be much more detailed than that. That's just very much on a high level, right? We can really customize the messaging and those triggers based on what actions we could pull out of your CRM to, again, make sure that, once she comes for a tour, within, several hours of that, you should send her a thank you via email, not just, maybe personalized is the best, or a follow-up call from your sales folks, but also another email saying, hey, thank you for coming for the tour. Here's some additional information about, some of the things that you saw or that you didn't see. The last provider I worked for, they had a great program, right, where they did basically like Senior Wish Dreams, right? Well, they would come to the community and they would say, well, what are these great dreams? I want to hear about these dreams, And they'll talk to them about it, but they don't see anything happening at the community, right? But what's a great way? Well, when that prospect leaves, send Alice an email with all the information about the program as well as videos and other content, and continue to feed that and make sure that she's on that list, right? List segmentation. She's on that list for whatever that Dreams program is going forward, because she was really interested in that, right? Again, helping close. So it's not just the general stuff they hear from your sales folks. It's not just the general brochures or mailings they're receiving, but again, very personalized messaging. And then obviously after the close, delight, which is also equally important. And why? Because you want to continue to have that personalized conversation with them long after Alice's mother's in your community. So then you can get those referrals, right? Family and resident referrals. They're gold, right? They're not going to convert any better than that. So how do you continue to generate and foster those? Well, you can easily and efficiently and cost effectively do that with marketing automation. Okay, so here's a very simple sample campaign flow. I'm not going to get too much into the weeds here because I know we got to move on and time is limited. But we'd love to do that, by the way. So if you want to reach out to us, I'd be glad to have that conversation and show you a demo. But again, just for purposes of illustration, right? So here we have our new lead. We're calling her Alice. So Alice comes to your website. You know, she's looking around. She sees she sees something she likes. She says, okay, I'm going to give them my information. I'm going to request more information. She does that. Well, what happens? Hopefully, if your website's integrated with your CRM, real time, her contact information goes in your CRM. Then within seconds or minutes, you're sending her a welcome series. So beyond just your thank you message you send from your form submission, but a little bit more detailed information. Now, at that point, hopefully your sales folks are trying to reach out to Alice. Hopefully within 5 minutes, that's a best practice, speed of lead tactics. It's pretty aggressive, but it works really, really well. But maybe it's a half hour later, or an hour later, or maybe 5 hours later. Well, what if we don't get a hold of Alice within 5 or 6 hours? Well, as we all know, that conversion rate starts to drop dramatically, right? How do we reach back out? Because we've left messages. We don't want to keep calling. We want to keep leaving voice messages. Well, we sign her up for a no change status. Meaning we haven't been able to get a hold of her. Just let her know, hey, Alice, you know, we're here. We've been trying to call you. We left you messages, right? We could do it very personalized. You know, try to urge and try to, you know, start that engagement again. But what if we do get a hold of Alice within, let's say, 5 minutes or 5 hours, right? And we change her status. So whether she came in as like a cold or a warm or however you do it, A, B, C, and now your sales folks have changed her status to now from, let's say, a warm to hot because she's coming in for a tour. With that change status action, we can automatically start sending her other email content via email, very personalized. Again, working through the conversion funnel to where we convert the prospect, and again, after conversion, right, we're sending that retention series. Again, we're really trying to continue that conversation, that relationship, really trying to gain, you know, their trust, and then obviously the family and resident referrals. So another stat, triggered email messages average 70.5% higher open rates and 152% click-through rates. I almost have to laugh when I read that. I mean, from Marketo, again, one of the leading marketing automation firms. I mean, it's just, that's incredible. It's like, how can you deny that, right? It's like, it's amazing. So, and it really does work. Okay, next slide, barriers, right? So what are the barriers, right? Well, CRM integration, number one, right? It's very technical, can be very complex, takes time, knowledge base, right? Campaign messaging. You know, where do I start? How do I create these very highly targeted messaging campaigns based on where they're at in my conversion funnel? Campaign management. You know, who's going to build it? Who's going to implement it? Who's going to run it? And then obviously cost. You know, cost is always an issue. Well, we have a solution. Drum roll. So we have a solution. We call it Sage Automation. We're really excited to unveil this today. It's an end-to-end marketing automation platform. So we can send personalized messages via text or email based on triggered and time-delayed actions. We can integrate with your CRM. You know, we have folks in-house. We have programmers that can help you do that. And then we can look at, okay, what we'll do is we'll sit down and say, okay, what are the triggers that we can look for in your CRM? What are the activity changes? And then we'll build custom messaging campaigns for each one of those actions. And then we set it up real time for you. And then we manage that for you and report to you. A really, really exciting tool here. So we're really excited to unload this today to you, and we're excited about this price too. So we're able to offer this campaign starting at $180 per month, and that's for 5,000 email sends. And then we could customize campaigns beyond that. And then obviously, CRM integration, is going to be a little extra depending on the complexity of that. But we work with a lot of CRM companies, from Yardi to Reps to, on and on. So we've done it before. So next, let's talk about measuring marketing performance, right? So yeah, you got marketing automation maybe. You're thinking about an integrated strategy. How do you kind of pull all this together, right? So ideally, you'd have one dashboard, one place where you could track all your data from all your campaigns, right? Online, offline campaigns, all in one place. You can quickly measure them, analyze them, optimize them, right? To really maximize your opportunity. Again, maximizing your bottom line. If you don't know where you're spending your money or where you're gaining leads or engagement, how are you going to know how to change that month to month, right? Quarter to quarter, to really spend your money most efficiently, where you're going to drive the most leads. Not only the most leads again, right, but the highest quality leads. Well, realistically, and again, I've been there, you're probably running multiple campaigns, right, in multiple different applications. For example, you might have Hootsuite or Sprout for your social media. You might have MailChimp or Constant Contact or MyEmma. Google Analytics, obviously, Google AdWords, on and on. Maybe for your direct mail campaigns, you have CallRail or Marchex. You're tracking those phone calls, which is all great. But then you got to go into each of these, right? Download reports, cobble them together, figure out, okay, where's the opportunity? Where am I actually generating leads, right? Try to go into your CRM, try to rectify that information, And it takes hours and hours and hours, right? And that time prevents us from really being able to, again, seize the opportunity, really be able to optimize quickly and maximize our opportunity. So again, we have a solution. It's called Sage Dashboard. So again, we're really excited to release this product here. It's going to be, let me get to it. I got too many clicks here. Now I got to go back. But November 1st, we're going to unveil this product, and it's an all-in-one marketing dashboard. So you can look at all your leads real time, from any of your web forms that you have, PPC, SEO, from your website, all your calls. So we pull those in from CallRail or any call application you're using, direct marketing, TV, radio, email marketing, and it has dozens of built-in APIs. So if you're using any of the applications I just talked about, automatically hook you up within minutes. Now, obviously, your CRM, that's a little bit different animal, but we can do that. And then cloud-based security. And you could, access it on any device, anytime, very easy, very quickly. Your sales teams can look at this real time. It's really great for C-suite. We can customize it where you're just looking at the 5 or 6 KPIs that you really want to look at, as opposed to, getting into Google Analytics, looking through filters and gobs of data. We can simplify it really quickly and put it on one dashboard. So the benefits, right? All your data in one place, full picture of your inbound, outbound marketing opportunities, quickly track, analyze, and optimize your campaigns, and then build reports within minutes. And obviously using this to impact your bottom line. So again, really excited about this, unveiling it today, and it'll be available starting November 1st. And a little spoiler alert, after this session, you'll receive an email. And it's for a free trial, a free 3-month trial. So please take advantage. Give us a call. We'll hook you up on our dashboard. Depending on demand, we'll see how quickly we can get you linked into it. But we hope there is great demand, and hopefully take advantage of that 90-day, 3-month offer. Okay. So with that, questions? How are we doing on time? I think we're doing well. How much is the dashboard? Good question. Good. It depends on what you want to integrate. So all those built-in APIs I talked about, we can do within minutes. That's going to be part of the flat rate, $150 a month for the dashboard. There'll be one-time cost for any additional integration for CRM. And that depends, obviously on the time it's going to take. Whether we already have an API feed with, let's say, Reps or Yardi. Yardi we do, Reps we don't. We're working on that right now, working with Sherpa right now. So, there might be additional costs involved in that. And it really depends on how much you want us to really dive down into the data for you, how much you want to customize that, right? But that's ongoing. So if you create a new marketing campaign, you say, hey, we're going to run this new direct marketing campaign, just give us the information, we'll pop it in for you. It's all part of that price. Any other questions?
Direct mail, is that in that?
That's right, direct mail, yes. So we can obviously track phone numbers, phone calls from direct mail, and then if you have Vandy URLs, which we recommend, right, where you're driving traffic to a landing page, then we'll track the landing page activity.
Do you integrate with Move-In?
With Move-In, oh, Move-In, one of my favorites. Actually, previously worked for Elmcroft, so I know Move-In well. We haven't worked with Move-In yet, but we can. They have an API, and I actually worked with it at Elmcroft. We built the web service and integrated there, so we can.
With the marketing automation, if one of your leads opts out, I'm assuming there's the option to opt out, how does it integrate notification to the sales or marketer that they've opted out? They're not automatically getting this, and does it notify them to pick up a manual follow-up?
That's a good question. You know, I would have to look into that. I don't know if it automatically does do that. Depends on, so it was a great question. So the question was that if we sign, let's say Alice, up for an email series, and she chooses at one point to opt out, right? Does that alert your sales staff that she's opted out? To maybe, you know, that action, hey, let's reach out to Alice, let's maybe give her a call. You know, that's a great question. I don't know. So that's something we definitely would look into for you. Yeah, great question.
So your marketing automation in terms of tracking phone calls,
Mm-hmm.
do you have to have another piece of middleware to be able to take it from your, to track, get those phone calls into your CRM, or is that part of the automation package?
Good question. You do. So you would need like CallRail or Marchex. We work with CallRail, so we can set you up with those numbers, and then we just pull that in real time to the dashboard. Any more questions? I know we really want to get to that GoPro. Yeah.
Question on your total marketing spend. Do you have any recommendations for everybody in the audience for in
Yeah.
general? Where do you anticipate marketing spend to be on a either per lead, per
Sure.
move-in,
Sure.
whatever metric you'd like to?
Yeah, I hear that. That's probably the number one question I get the most, right? Not only from others that I talk to and clients, but when I work for providers, right? So I would have, you know, the marketing, VP of marketing or the CEO come to me and say, Jason, what should we be spending? And really, I think it's pretty simple, right? I look at it as what are you willing to pay a Place for Mom cost per move-in? Now, is that $2,800, $3,000, $3,500? You know, we know everybody pays different depending on how many units you have, right? But what are you willing to pay, right? So if you're willing to pay that, why wouldn't you be willing to take that money and invest it? I'm not saying not work with them. I believe in a holistic strategy. But in terms of answer your question and how much should I spend, well, I should be investing just as much money in my SEO, my SEM, if I can get that return. So I want to generate as many leads that I can. That cost per lead is going to net out to what I'm paying Place for Mom or Caring.com. Pretty simple. So that's where you start. You would say, well, where is that number? Well, I don't know where that number is for you because how many communities, you know, what type of reach do you have, you know, so on and so forth. But in terms of like SEM, I would say a good cost per lead would be anywhere from $100 to $150, depending on if you can convert that at 5%. You know, and that's what you got to look at too, right? So it's really, well, what the cost really depends on how you're converting. How you're converting a lead from what channel to a move-in. You know, and that's where you start, okay, this is what I should pay per lead because I know it's going to back out to this cost per move-in. So I'd say a good rule of thumb, though, is if it get back out to $2,800 or less. Now, if you're doing it on a large scale, you know, I work for Brookdale, we're able to do it much, much, much cheaper, right? That's why you should be doing your own in-house marketing or maybe working with Sage, someone to help you out, but also work with the aggregators as well. You want a holistic strategy. You know, how much opportunity can you reach? You know, you can only get so much opportunity for them, but, you know, there's other opportunity out there for you to get to. So hopefully that answers a little bit of your question. Any other questions? Thoughts? No? All right. Good. All right, Melinda, you want to do the honors?